I help you, sir?
I certainly hope so. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome. Are you the owner?
Yes, I am.
And your name?
William Crabtree.
William, I'm Tony. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Great. Hey, William, are you familiar with Kay's Restaurant over here?
Yes.
Okay. We're actually doing a project. Mr. Katie has asked us to come in and see you. Obviously, have you been in there to eat?
Oh, yeah.
Most everybody does. He does a tremendous business. He does about 7,000 customers a week. He, of course, has his own barbecue sauce and several things that are very familiar to a lot of people here. Been in the community a long time. We've actually got a community project that we're working on together. Have you got just a couple minutes?
Well,
Now just as good a time as any?
I guess so.
Okay. Well, Bill, what we're going to be doing over at Kay's, and since you're familiar with it, we're actually going to be replacing all the tables in his restaurant. And what we are offering here is a one-time cost, graphics, everything's included, for you to actually be on the tables. Okay. The deal about this is in advertising, Bill, as you know, you pay for exposure and absorption, meaning how many prints are printed or how big of an area they cover. The challenge for business owners today is just simply the dilution of advertising. And I don't say anything bad about any other advertising. It's just what we're doing. I mean, take a look at it. How many of us go into our phone or our computer versus going into a phone book today? What a shift in the last 10 years. You look at 30 plus radio stations available on your radio channels, almost anywhere you are, and yet we have iPods, MP3, Sirius Radio, Pandora. I mean, all these options to listen to whatever music we want and totally bypass advertising. TV's the same way. As if 150 channels wasn't bad enough to flip-flop on during the commercials, we got TiVo, DVR, Netflix. Again, options to be able to watch what it is we want and totally bypass advertising. Bill, what we're able to do today, what we're offering here is a chance to be able to get in front of potential customers, not 30, 60 seconds, but 15 to 45 minutes, 12 to 18 inches from their face, where they can't turn the page and they can't throw you away. Obviously, people look at pictures far faster than they read anything. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And what we're actually doing to not only help with the exposure and absorption, which I'll talk about a little bit here in a minute, but with this technology, knowing it's here to stay, what we're actually doing are adding QR codes because, again, they have time to check it out. Are you familiar with QR codes?
Oh, I've seen them, but I'm not sure. I don't know much about them.
Well, the QR code actually is just a simple way with the technology to be able to have people, they actually click on it with their smartphone and it takes them directly to your website. So I don't have to type in www. anything. I'm instantly going to your website. The great thing about this, Bill, is what we're able to do with that technology is not only get them to your website, but this is a different IP address. So it helps to drive your website up. It gives them the opportunity to go look at what you have. Some of our clients are even doing 30-second spots that they're posting on their website. So now it's just like I'm seeing a commercial because I click on it, I go right to the commercial, or I see what you have in specials, whatever it is you're offering, and then I can back out, I can look at other things that you have on your website. Now let's say I'm not interested today at this particular time in what you have. The next time I go search it with that same device, what happens? You're right there. I can see, oh yeah, I went there, that's where it was, because it's in my history. So I'm able to retrieve your website much faster because I've already been there, okay? This is a great thing for technology. I mean, we know it's here to stay, and this is a great way to be able to connect with those people that are using smartphones, which almost everybody has today. So not only are we utilizing technology, but the exposure and absorption is our number one. Not only the time that we get in front of potential clients, but also being able to add to what it is that you're doing, whether it is your website or whether it is your Facebook. Some of our clients use Facebook as well. I like it as long as you're posting something. The bad thing about Facebook is if you're not posting something, every within 6 months or less, it starts to have a negative connotation to where you want to do something with it or have customers. I like it because it's word of mouth. it helps to create more word of mouth. So if you're having customers post that, if I'm checking it out, I'm looking at it, obviously I see what you're doing and I see happy customers. So now it's just like passing on word of mouth, which is, we know, your best type of advertising. Would you agree?
Yes, oh yes.
Word of mouth is always your best type of advertising. The challenge that you have, Bill, with helping that in traditional advertising, that as far as word of mouth goes, is, you know, in traditional advertising, it just doesn't work as well. Why? Because we don't read the paper, listen to radio, watch TV, even go searching online while we're visiting with family, friends, or business associates. So it just doesn't happen usually in traditional advertising. But the deal here, Bill, is the fact that we're going to go out to eat with family, friends, and business associates. So not that they were thinking about you, obviously, when they were out there eating, but by seeing your ad on here, now what's the chance of them talking about you? All the client base that you have currently does what? Oh, that's where and they go to refer about your business. So it helps to create that word of mouth better than anything else I've ever seen, because again, no matter how high tech we get, we're still going to go out to eat. So as far as the exposure and absorption, being able to help create word of mouth, and what a great permanent image. Because of the quality of this, it's done 300 DPI, it's magazine quality, so it's not something cheaply done, it's not something that they're going to throw away. It gives your company good exposure. It gives your company a good branding. And literally, we can do anything technology-wise with graphics. So I like to use this with pictures. I prefer pictures over verbiage because people will look at pictures far faster than they read anything. So being able to use photos to talk about what you do is huge. Repetition's also big here with us, because in anything you do, you have to do it over and over and over. I can be in the paper today, it's gone today. I can be on the radio today, it's gone today. Those entities you do over and over and over to get traction, and they'll tell you that. The challenge with it is it's also very costly. Our thing here is, like I said, it's a one-time cost, graphics, everything's included, but you're here for 3 years. Our contract with John is for 3 years. Now, you could be there longer, but our contract's for 3 years. So now, if I like going there, I go there once a week, every other week, you know, once a month, doesn't matter. Every time I go in, I see you again and again and again. What's the chance of somebody needing your services in 3 years? See?
Pretty good.
Exactly. So we're opening up that window of when potential clients may need you or be looking for your services. And we actually do this at a lower cost than anybody else in the industry when you compare apples to apples. And so now let's take a look at the costs. So as you take a look here, this is the actual layout this is a table. So we're just duplicating this on all the tables. Every square that's filled in is already taken. This is a limited project, so there are only 30 spots. There's 3 different sizes on here. If you'll look, we have the 6x6, we have the 6x4, and we have the 4x4. So those are our 3 sizes. I usually start with the 6x6. The 6x6, including graphics, everything, you're on 27 tables, $28.97. Now we do have a 10% discount if you pay for it all up front by check or by credit card, or we can split it into a third, a third, a third. But when you look at that cost-wise, like I said, comparing apples to apples, when we take a look at that 6x6 at $29.87, when we break this down by the table, by the year, by the month, by the week, you're looking at 71 cents a week. Now, would I be out of line if I said at least 100 people were sitting at a table in a week's time here?
No.
Exactly. I'm probably undercutting that. But at 100 people per week, you're looking at less than a penny per person. That's if they only see it one time. That's huge when you look at the cost of the exposures in almost anything else. And we know they're going to see it multiple times while they're sitting there. So the 6x6 is placed in the corners and in the centers. Which one's best for you? Okay. Let me show you the other sizes that we have available. Now our next size is going to be the 6x4. Now this is a 6x4. I still like the 6x4. Why? Because you can have your logo, multiple pictures, your information. Now I do need an inch by inch for the QR code. We just found with low lighting and different apps it scans the best. So, but we can put all that together and it doesn't take away from your pictures, okay, and your logo. So it has good spacing, it has good space available, and it shows your business very well. The 6x4 is $19.97. And again, that's for all 3 years. That's on all 27 tables, and you're there for a minimum of 3 years. So what you're actually looking at is 48 cents a week on the 6x4. Yeah, divided by 100 people, you're looking at under a half a cent per person. Do you like the 6x4? I do have a 4x4. We do have that available as well. That's $13.97. So you're only talking a matter of you have $600 difference between the 4x4 and the 6x4. But that's there for 3 years.